Why do you hate Halo Reach? Why do I hate Halo Reach? Is that a new Halo coming out? Halo, whatever the pronunciation is supposed to be. Is there a new one coming out and I'm like streaming at the same time as the thing is coming out? In any case, I've never played any one of those games. I had an Xbox, like the original Xbox. Never got an Xbox One. Not here on Pop? Oh no, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna do that. It's just so early that I haven't even written that down yet. Okay. Okay, so just for recap for the people who are already here, the plan for today. Do you see it index? Yeah, 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 definitely. So the plan for today is uh do a little bit more work on Zine because we got it building, but we did that with a bunch of hacks. One of which is what Anthony is pointing out. I made public a function that was not public um, in the standard library, and now there was a commit that did make it public again. So first of all, we want to update Zig. Then we want to look into some of the things that I hacked together. Maybe we can make a PR. I think there's a project from Neurosite that needs updating. We can make a PR to Neurosite, and in the meantime, we could use our own forks. So in any case, like let's do some. There's some more work necessary to actually get there. Let's do that work. Also, maybe I will take this as an opportunity to do also some more miscellaneous work. Like I think I've accumulated like a bajillion PRs in Super HTML, Zine proper. Maybe we can take a look at some of those. Then maybe we can take a look at some of my websites that probably need some polish. So I don't know. I'm you know what? I'll write random stuff and then maybe look into a Weibo. Yeah, there we go. That's how I'm gonna word it. And yeah, that's the planning essentially. I will rewrite the Linux kernel in Zig if you play the Halo Reach campaign. uh, that is a lot of work. I fear that the only realistic way for you to pull that off is to use LLMs, um, which would kind of detract from the from the prowess of the feat. Uh, in any case, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So no tea proper, but I have water with ice. That's gonna be good enough. Okay, what are we doing? Let us build Zig. So do cube exit. What are we debugging here? No. Exit. 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 Oh, that is old get index, which we modified. Git stash. Git stashed. Git pool. Okay, we got a lot of changes on top of our own change. Well, the one that we were targeting essentially. What do we got? What did we get? Memconcat, zone parse, fix large int parse, fix to do int type equal. Nice. Fix red zone flag generation. Haha. Nice. Giuseppe is the organizer of Zig Day Naples. And this is this does definitely sound like the kind of fix that relates to the project to the project that he's working on. He's working on a man, what is the term for it? In any case, it's like a tracing profiler. It's a profiler that can slow down parts of your code on purpose, with the goal of learning over multiple runs what are the bottlenecks of your application, because maybe a given function could be made faster, but then if in the overall architecture of the program you're waiting for something else to run, then speeding up that function, I mean, you save cycles, I guess, but then you're still going to be waiting for the other thing if the other thing is slower. And maybe the other thing is, a bunch of super efficient function calls. So maybe that is something that you can't even speed up without re-architecting the whole thing. In any case, that is the story. Okay, cool. Hello, Penguin. So, getting to build. No. Make 12. By the way, in the meantime, what happened is that the North Star blog post got onto Hacker News. Why am I getting news.google? What is this browser doing? It's like, where is this coming from? I've never been on news.google.com on this browser. Why is this suggesting this garbage as the first results and not Hacker News? Oh no, that now I put a dot and it becomes News Y Combinator very specifically. I need to get off of this thing. I really need to get off of this deprecated browser. Holy shit. In any case, there you go. My software North Star. So this is interesting. I don't know how many people here care about the mechanics of how Hacker News works. I would even argue that maybe you shouldn't care regardless. So I'm gonna say it anyway, but I do understand if you don't care, and then I might not be doing you a favor by telling you this stuff. But there is it's not exactly a secret, but it is also not publicly documented, and it's one of those things where you just have to be in the know to know about it. But there's they call it I believe the second chance pool, where basically occasionally what happens is that there is a lot of pressure on the front page. There are a lot of um, interesting, or in any case heavily upvoted entries, and there's only so many things you can put on the front page. So there might be moments where the competition is very stiff, and a entry that would be otherwise good cannot make it to the front page because of that. At the same time, there are moments where there is no much going on, and so the front page could use um, some new items to replace older ones. But if nothing that gets heavily voted happens, then that's not going to happen. So what do the curators of Hacker News do? They have this thing called the second pool, where I'm assuming what they do is that they have an interface where they can say, oh, there's this link which was posted, I don't know, 6 hours ago, ended up not making it to the front page, but we think it's good. It's good enough that we should try again. We believe that what happened is that it didn't get to the front page because of other pressure. Uh, when that happens, I think they mark your entry for essentially eventually being in an automated fashion reset by the system, so that it gets a second chance to get on the front page. And but when I mean reset, I mean literally reset the points, or maybe no, but at least, but for sure reset the submission time, date time, because I did not submit this entry now in hours ago. I was sleeping 9 hours ago. I submitted this 3 days ago, when I submitted it also to Lobsters, which was literally as soon as I published it. So I think that their system essentially reset the timer on this entry, making it new again, because again, the how old the age of an entry has a big impact on whether it gets on the front page or not. So you can see here that things need to get a lot of points, but they also need to be fresh. Like this one has only 15 points, but it was posted 2 hours ago, so it goes above mine that has more than 100 points, but it was posted 9 hours ago. So all these things influence what happens with an entry, and yeah. So this got on the front page because of the second chance pool. But you can't tell, like, unless you are the submitter and you know that this time is wrong, you shouldnly be able to tell that something was comes from the second chance pool. I guess unless you obsessively scrape the website and keep track of everything and notice that an entry changed its time. But anyway, so yeah, there's this thread here. What can I say about it? I think the comments on Hacker News are mostly horrible, as usual. That's what I have to say about it. But anyway, we built Zig in the meantime. So I was killing time while we were building Zig. Okay, we got new Zig. So that means that I can go in Zine and build again. And hopefully it should succeed. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do release. I just want to do a normal local debug build just to see it succeed. Okay, so far so good. Since that we're happy. Okay, perfect. So delightful. What's our Z1 version now? Because essentially this is you're lying. I think this is lying. So when we updated the other ones like Super HTML, no, this was 702. Yeah, it is the same hash. What is going on? The hash should definitely not be the same. This is lying. This is lying about the commit. Sorry, I call it the hash. It's the commit hash. It's not the executable hash. Hello, code guy. What am I doing? I am working on my static site generator called Zine. I am updating version of the programming language that I'm using called Zig, and I'm getting weirded out by a certain behavior. So this config.h or so, no, it's config.zig. This config.zig is lying. God damn it. Okay, can we, if I move config.zig, what happens now if we rebuild? Are we happy now? Oh yeah. Now, okay, so I should just delete that file because deleting it causes it to be recreated. I moved it because I didn't want to lose it completely in case that was not an option. Okay, so this gives us the actual correct commit count and hash. We can't hear you, boss. You cannot hear me. You're speaking plural. Are you speaking for others? There we go. Mic sound really low. I think you should bump up the volume on your system. I can promise you my microphone volume is not low. Is as high as I can send it to you without clipping. Music volume, that is low. Like there's a bit of music in the background, but it's meant to not be too annoying. Twitch app is software I can't love. Oh man, I can imagine. uh, very vixen on your end, bro. I promise you, I am sending it to you as high volume as it is possible. Like I could apply filters to somehow give you more of a feeling that I have an even louder voice. But that would be something like flattening the curve a little bit so that the the parts of the frequency that my voice isn't particularly, for example, the high frequency, the high part of the frequency spectrum, I have a lower voice, so that part is not particularly loud. I could make it louder, and that would give you an overall bigger impression that that I'm louder. But in terms of uh, dBs, this is as high as it gets. Like I'm all the way up. I'm brushing against the red zone in OBS. With a little lobotomy, you can learn to love any software. Yeah, that is the that's like the LLM approach to making software you can love, right? Claude, make software you can love, make no mistakes, and like the solution is lobotomy. Do you have a link or an alias to use the Zig that you are compiling? Um, You mean a link to a precompiled version? No, not yet, because this is the tip of master branch. So I literally just pulled from master branch and I'm building latest Zig as it is on the repository. The download page will have this build available, like either this commit or a newer commit. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I misunderstood your question completely. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Now I get it what you were asking. Yes, I have a symbolic link. I do not have an alias. I have a symbolic link. I call Zig the Zig that I get from ZigUp. So ZigUp gives me, I guess I can do this. So ZigUp gives me easy management of Zig versions. So I do Zig up and then whatever version of Zig I want, and that's sim-linked to Zig. Then Zig 1, Zig 1, well, Zig 1 doesn't exist right now because we are rebuilding it, so it was nuked a moment ago. But Zig 1 is the release fast build of the compiler from the repository. And then I have Zig 2. Zig 2 is a debug build of the compiler made with the release fast build of the compiler. Zig 2 is for when I'm changing the compiler itself, because I keep a functioning copy of the compiler in Zig 1. And then if I'm fucking around and I break something, Zig 1 will keep working because it's already compiled and it is fast. And then I use that to compile a new compiler version, Zig 2. And maybe Zig 2 comes out wrong because, you know, I made a change that makes no sense. So Zig 2 is the one that might break. And it is a debug build so that, you know, you can both debug it and it just builds faster. Okay, resetting that file causes a much longer rebuild process. It is unfortunate. So I guess I understand now why that file doesn't get regenerated automatically. The more you know. Well, while we wait, sorry, I got stuck looking at the thing. Go. I don't know. What can we talk about? Well, there is this that I think is kind of interesting. Let's see if I can pull it up. What have I done? So, there's this stuff from Unrestling which I think is interesting. So he's saying the cost of generating plausible code is approaching zero. So is the cost of spinning up fake identities, submitting plausible PRs, and engaging convincingly in open source communities. I don't believe patch welcome style development survives this for security sensitive projects. So he's defending his recent change to Lady Bird. You know what? Maybe I should have started from this. I guess I'm starting in media res. Let me. Lady Bird. Seeing how we don't wait, did I talk about this yesterday? Actually, I think I did. So you know what? Maybe I'm not starting in media res. In any case, they stopped accepting PRs, which is sus. Which is sus as in I feel like it's dangerous. It's a dangerous approach for a non-profit organization such as what Ladybird is. In any case, so Andreas goes on and says, "This is really sad. It kills something that made open source magical for so many of us, myself included. But the problem is real, and we need to deal with it as an industry. First step is opening our eyes to how much the economics have changed." Um, and then somebody brings up Mitchell's vouch system, which in general means, well, you could do invite trees. And then his answer is, vouch systems are a nice idea, but they are clearly not stopping a determined attacker with infinite identities. And then RGB Cube gets into the discussion. And let's see, an attacker just needs one of their identities to befriend someone on the list. Ever made a friend of line? That's a tough question to ask, RGB Cube. I know I have. Okay. Friending people is not enough, though. You have to vouch on a repo basis. I won't vouch even my closest friends if they don't show me what they are intending to upstream. So I guess a vouch should require a detailed reason, which is actually a absolutely fair reply. Like the point of vouch systems or invite trees in general is that it's a tree. So like if you keep inviting bad people, you also get kicked out. So like invite trees do have a system to uh to guarantee that bad actors cannot bad actors as in, you know, let's say trolls or like generally in malevolent people can just be cut off entirely. But Andreas has a different perspective on this. He says, imagine I want to sneak one bad change into a project and I'm willing to spend weeks, months, years engaging with the community and proposing good changes first. If I get caught, no problem. I start with a new identity. Now imagine I make my computer do this at scale. Hey there, Teufel. Supply chain compromise is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. I mean, that's a thing with dependencies, but here we're talking about merging code. This was true also before, although to be fair, what Andreas here is saying is that the fact that you can use LLMs to ramp up the volume with which you are able to do this kind of stuff is not something that you were able to do before. But I don't know. I find this whole reasoning kind of sus. Security is just a subset of code correctness. Every time someone tries to invoke security as the reason, mentally substitute code correctness or bug free and see if it still makes sense. Yeah, I do agree. I do think that you had to review PRs before. You will still have to review PRs today. I think his whole point only makes sense if you look at it from the perspective of I'm not doing code review anymore. I'm not doing code review anymore. I'm just going full agentic. I write tests and I expect something to write code that passes those tests, and then we move on. But then if that is your perspective, then you're talking about the security thing, but man, there's so many ways in which the process, as I just described it, could go wrong. So to me, it seems so weird. It's about control. The more control over the project, the more money he can extract. You know that I fear that actually doing this would weaken Andrea's position within the organization. The way I see this is that it makes it easier for other people involved from a non-development perspective. So let's say sponsors to gain control over things that otherwise would be much harder for them. I think Andreas, being essentially the lead dev and the founder of the thing, they'll gain control by giving him more money. I think that they gained control by giving money to the organization already. Yeah. I do think that there are some decisions that the Lady Bird project has made that to me seem not to be entirely organically coming from the maintainers and more like necessary compromises because big ass sponsors really believe that to be true. So, for example, Spotify is all in with AI, and I would not be surprised if the Spotify sponsor is there. Uh, allow me to use technical terms, bitching and moaning about Ladybird needing to do more with AI. If they want to see more money from Shopify, I mean, probably he's not gonna. What did I say? Yeah, I meant Shopify. Did I say something else? Did I say Spotify? I meant Shopify. Yeah. What the heck did I say? I don't even remember. Anyway, I thought I said Shopify since the beginning. Maybe I didn't. In any case, I would not. I do not expect the Shopify guy to say I did say Spotify. Oh my god, sorry. Shopify. So I do not expect the Shopify guy to say literally do this or else. But you know, it's like in that scene from that TV series, right? There, you always have the implication once your sponsor, once the sponsor of an open source project of a nonprofit takes you on the boat, you know, you can't like you can say no, but there's always the implication. So that's one thing. I think also the fact that Ladybird has moved towards Rust is another example of that. Andreas has been very vocal in the past about not liking Rust. And they even attempted to do Swift so that they could not, so that they didn't have to do Rust. But if you are a, you know, tech, I'll say tech bro in the sense of if you're one of those people that made money in tech, the last time they actually programmed something for real was like 20 years ago. But they are still, you know, they still want to be, they still are in the know, or they think they are, and they're opinionated as fuck. And one of them says, well, but man, you have to use Rust. What do you mean? Rust is obviously like they drank all the it is morally wrong to not use Rust Kool-Aid. So they go to him and say, bro, what do you mean you're not going to use Rust? You're writing a browser. Of course you have to use the only morally correct language. Listen, I respect your decision making, but you need to be aware that if you don't do this, this is going to be a PR disaster. It is something that I personally don't want to be associated with. So look, if you value our relationship, which is another way of expressing, you know, the implication, you have to accept Rust. You have to embrace Rust. And so you know, on one side you have one guy telling you that you have to use AI. On the other side you have one guy telling you that you have to use Rust. And so what do you do? What do you do? The only rational solution, the only winning move is, well, no, the only winning move would be to not get in that position in the first place. But then if you fail that part, if you fail that check, that dice roll, then the only winning move is to use AI to write Rust. Ladybird adopts Rust with help from AI. In any case, there are quite a few things, unfortunately, not really, that do not seem to be going too well for the Ladybird project. I fear that Ladybird will not become uh, my replacement for the browser that I'm using right now. It becomes a joke project. I wouldn't call it a joke, but I would say that a lot of the potential that, at the very least, I saw in Ladybird in being a potentially a truly disruptive force, um, does not seem to be there. And so, um, my worry is that, I mean, you know what? I hope that Ladybird can, come in, kick ass, um, make Firefox market share go all the way down to zero, and and not just that, maybe also eat a little bit of the Chromium pie. Um, but what I'm seeing is that there is what I suspect is weird compromises with sponsors because they have a lot of pull on the project. I see a lot of engineering decisions that seem forced and that do not seem to be conducive to making, a groundbreaking change. Um, and so my worry is that the end result will be a browser that is uh, less featureful, slower than Firefox, where the only selling point will be that, it doesn't have Google money attached to it, which you could argue is a plus, but that is not enough. I think that people could be open to picking up a new browser just to give a middle finger to Google, but that can only happen if the new browser is at least comparable to what they had before. So, uh, I don't know. Maybe this will happen. I hope that it will happen. I do think that rejecting PRs, closing the project from PRs, using LLMs to rewrite automatically stuff to Rust is not going to be, that's not the way. I suspect that is not the way. That's it. Why do you not like vibe coded things? I do not like vibe coded things um because every time I use an AI to generate some code, it does a decent job, but definitely not a particularly good one. It's like let me use a stronger terminology. I see AI produce what I consider to be mediocre code at best, and that can be good or even more than good enough in a lot of situations, but not when you're building critical infrastructure. And a programming language, for example, in the case of Zig, is critical infrastructure. A browser is critical infrastructure. And browsers have very stiff competition. Ladybird cannot just work. Ladybird needs to work better than than the competition. So I and then especially but again, the thing is not just, oh, they're using AI, whatever. The point is they are closing off PRs because of AI. They are, let me find out the thing. As part of this change, we will close all currently open public pull requests. Well, no, that is not even, where's the thing where they say it explicitly? Ladybird is moving into a new phase. As we work towards our first alpha release, the project needs a tighter development process, a clearer security model, and a smaller set of people responsible for the code that enters the browser. So there we go. I should have read from the beginning. Uh, we will no longer accept pull requests. From now on, code changes to the Ladybird code base will only be introduced by project maintainers. So this, in my opinion, is bad for an open source project. I understand perfectly the problem that they are facing. It is absolutely true that AI slop PRs are rampant, but they decided to not just ban LLM PRs. They decided to entirely close them off. And Andrea's reasoning is we do this for security. Do they know they don't have to accept PRs? Yeah, they do know. I guess their argument. So their argument, I think that Andreas's argument is there could be somebody who is malicious and adversarial, who is going to try to get into the code base to eventually introduce a vulnerability. So that was true also before, but his argument is that given given what AIs can do, it is a much bigger danger because a motivated attacker, could spin up a bajillion new identities using LLMs. So I don't know. What are we building today? This is my to-do for today. So I'm going to work on my static site generator. I am actually technically working on my static site generator. I was just waiting for the compiler to rebuild itself. Okay, Zig1 version now gives us the right answer, and let's do the build. We should succeed, but let's actually do it. Banning AI for security is like banning Telegram internet for security. What? So I don't think it's a good idea to close off PRs on the project. I think there are some downsides to it, big ones. So I don't know. I'm glad. I think this is a good thread because it shows what the thinking is. But I still cannot really engage with the thinking fully. I still find it sus. Like if this was a Secret Hitler game, and Andreas during the Secret Hitler game were to bring up this point, I would definitely not allow him to get chancellorship the next round. That is damn sure. Okay, so we build. I think the next step here is to get rid of the changes that we did to our dependencies and see what happens. So we remove. Let's remove all of Zig package because I tainted it. That took way too long. This should not take this long. What the fuck are we putting in here? You know what? There's probably some stale stuff. Okay, so the fact that there was some stale stuff in there probably was the cause. Oh, and also this bad boy. Okay, I guess it's this guy that is intense. There we go. And now we're back to having issues with 3-seater. Just for, you know, due diligence. See if there's some new flow syntax. There is none. Okay, let's take a look at flow syntax. Does it have any PRs? Probably not. That is Zine. That is not flow syntax. I hate this browser. So fucking stupid. Oh my god. In your site, yeah. I just have updated to newest Zig, and there's stuff that needs to be updated in flow syntax. I'm gonna send you a PR now. Collecting a list of people who stream writing code listed on ziglang.org. There's a few InfoSec communities that do that, and it's a great way to find streamers to watch. The community page used to have a list of this kind-ish. It was kind of a mess, to be honest. I'm guessing Andrew did not port that over. Or did he? Oh, no, he did. There's like individuals. And I think these are all Twitch or similar links. Yeah, they all are. Oh, there's also Spare in here. So people have been updating it. A Twitch team. I think, yeah, I wanted to make a Twitch team, but you need to be a partner to create a team. And guess what? Your boy is not a partner, as exemplified by having 40 people watching this stream and not more than 75. Womp womp. Why isn't it embedded? You mean in this page? You'd have more viewers if you had an embedded video player on that page. Oh. Um, Personally, I kind of find it in bad taste for me to try and get more visibility than I already get off of official things like the website. Um, so I try not to do it. Literally, job to be visible. Yeah. Uh. Okay. So. Do. Let's see. What do we do here? Oh, it's 3-seater. It's not even this guy. Okay, we're going deeper. Oh, I deleted 3-seater. We need to reclone 3-seater. Git clone depth one. HTTPS neurosite 3-seater. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Okay, how did we solve path from root? There was b dot root dot I should not have deleted my copy that contained all the fixes already. Have PR open right now for this? You do? Oh, you might actually, because this is a different repo. I saw I looked at flow syntax, but I didn't look at visitor. Yeah. Yeah, good patch. Neurosite, merge this. Merge this neurosite. Will do. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that means that we don't need to do anything here in theory. It means that then we can actually we could already temporarily switch to this PR. Mm, we need to wait for the tarball though. Yeah, that sucks. You know what? I'm actually curious. What does it take to build a tarball in terms of like computer effort? Hopefully, it's not too long. Oh right. God damn! I take everything back. Fucking sub modules. Right. Right. Do. Zigmaster 17. Because flow depends on the tarball. Is it the thing that depends on the tarball? It is. Okay, so I could go here and say git remote add Teufel this git fetch Teufel. Man, I wrote Teufel and and the spelling is not immediately obvious to me. I made it life harder for myself. So git switch. Oh, you're building it already. Okay. Okay. So I guess that means that we have 8 minutes to kill. Nice. Okay, so we have 8 minutes to kill. What do we rant about in the meantime? What do we complain about? How is Zig bootstrapped? Uh, I watched build doesn't finish. Might be true. Might be true. Uh, how is Zig bootstrapped? Raz started from a camel. Zig started from the most delightful and pristine and elevated language there is. Care to guess? Chat, you get okay. People in chat who do not know for a fact, you can guess. Haskell. Okay. Of course, you took my words literally, I think. I was very sarcastic. Zig was bootstrapped from a horrible, disgusting language, which some people might like. So I apologize for defining it horrible and disgusting. I do, though, think in my heart of hearts that it is horrible and disgusting. Pascal? I don't think Pascal is that bad. Oh, Perl. Okay, Perl. Man, Perl is gnarly. Yeah, but it's not C++. It is C++. Quick reminder, C++ mascot. Keith, the C++ mascot. Disease rat with a missing leg because a foot gun shot it off. So anyway, oh my god, there's a plushie there. Oh my god. SerenityOS.social. Wait a second. We're like we're going deeper. Like there's an iceberg here. What? There's a Serenity OS Mastodon instance. That is interesting. So yeah, it is C++. Zig, the original Zig compiler was written in C++, and yeah, over time, C++ and LLVM from the get-go. As far as I know, yes. Yeah, and so that kept being like that for a while, and then the pure Zig rewrite happened, and eventually, so at some point we were still bootstrapping from the C++ compiler. So you needed, every time you needed to implement something in the C compiler that was used by the compiler itself, you needed to implement it twice, once in the C++ compiler, once in the self-hosted Z compiler, which was, well, first of all, it's annoying to have to implement the same thing twice. But it was kind of an annoying situation because you couldn't even fully take advantage of the fact that you were self-hosted because you still had to implement the C++ version of it. And the whole point, well, maybe not the whole point, but a major point of self-hosting is so that you can use your own language to implement the compiler and you don't have to keep using freaking C++. Like the whole point of Zig is essentially, if you think about it, not to have to use C++. And yet at that moment you had to use C++ to implement stuff in the compiler. So the new bootstrap procedure goes through a WebAssembly blob because Zig is able, well, the WebAssembly thing is actually, the fact that there's WebAssembly in the mix is actually not that important in the end. Like it is there for practical reasons, but the key thing is the Zig compiler can output C code. So there's a C backend. You can call it transpilation if you want. So there is a C transpiler backend that allows you to take a Zig project and output it as one pretty chunky C source file. That C source file is going to be unreadable. It's not meant to be good. It's meant to be, I mean, it's, how can I say? It's not meant to be, yeah, it's not meant to be readable by humans, but it works because it does the lowering correctly. So that C source file, if you do that to the compiler, like you take the compiler code base and you transpile it to C, then now you have a C implementation of the Zig compiler, which you can build with a C compiler. So you can take the Zig compiler, transpile it to C, compile that with a C compiler, and now you have a Zig compiler, and that can be used as a bootstrap path. But that file is ginormous, and it turns out that if you take that thing and then if instead of doing that you compile to WebAssembly, you get a smaller blob. You essentially you put less crap in the repository. So instead of doing the C source stuff, we do the WebAssembly thing. So we have a WebAssembly build of the Zig compiler committed to the repository that you can use to bootstrap Zig. The way it works precisely is that not only there is a WebAssembly blob that implements the compiler, but there is also a C implementation in the repository. There's also a C implementation of a simple WebAssembly VM. I call it VM, but that is not technically correct. I believe that is a it's a WebAssembly compiler. So it takes the WebAssembly bytecode and turns it into C source code because that's faster than interpreting the WASM. And But ultimately, it's another implementation detail. So the point is, you need to have a C compiler on your machine that is used to build the WASM thing. The WASM thing is fed from the repository, and the WASM thing is in the repository in C source code form. The thing looks at the WebAssembly blob, spits out C source code that implements the Zig compiler. The C compiler that you use to build the WebAssembly thing, you also use to build that thing into a Zig compiler. And then, last step, you use the Zig compiler to build the Zig compiler. That's stage 3. Anyway, that's the Bootstrap story. Tarball is done? What do you mean? It's still stuck at clone repo. Good job, GitHub. Like, delightful. I know. Just a GitHub moment. Okay, so you got the tarballs. Did you also update flow syntax already? Or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I should do that because I think that this guy, you know what? Wait, because I think this guy might need more work than just that. Let me try locally. Okay, so I go into 3-seater. I look at Z tarball. Yeah, no, I think there's more. I think there's more that needs to be done. Let me check. I can do some work for you. I guess we want this link, or we'll see. No, copy link address. Oh, I want releases. Thank you. Not tags. Thank you. Copy link address or something. I'll fix it once the time comes. Okay, so here we are in the right file. Okay, it does look about right. Zig1 build. Oh, fuck, you're right. I need to change the hash. Man, it's almost like I don't know how to use this programming language, huh? Well, I usually don't do surgery this way. That's gonna be my defense. Oh, you're right. I should just Zig fetch it. Fuck. Okay. Git checkout. Build a Zig.zone. Zig fetch this guy dash name 3-seater, I guess. Let's see what your name was for this. 3_seater. Unrecognized parameter. Is this namespace? Save. All right. Okay, Zig1 build. Let's go. Holy shit, that was it? Wait a second. Let's test this in Zine. Cobble, was that a a guess for the Zig backhand? By the way, this is coming in really late, so be careful that you might be lagging behind a lot. if you send this in real time. Zig build test. Yeah, you know what? At this point, let me finish here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, oh yeah, I remember there was more. Okay, so Zig build test. You're right. It's the right one. Let's go fixing. By the way, Neuroside, you have to tell me what's up with this line. Yes, Query Gen. There's one sus line. What was happening here? By the way, I'm joking. I've definitely wrote. I've written worse in my projects, no doubt. Oh, thank you. I'll add the line. Yeah. Okay, this one is easy. Seabor. Okay. Oh. Oh. Does it though? There we go. It's master. Perfect. Do do do. Seabor has a PR from yesterday. Oh. Nice. I highly recommend merging this PR. Do, do, do. Okay, so if Seabor is fixed, then I think I don't remember if there was anything more in this repo proper. Um, there's syntax as Zig. Let's see, decals, fields. Nope. Field types. Oh, I think this one. No, it's not field types. Maybe something else. Um. Oh, there we go. I should have done global search already. So none of that. Decals. There we go. File type has a couple of these. I think we can simplify this at this point. Okay, and I think with this we're done. I guess the majority of the work was in Cibor. Okay, so this is in. So that means that I can go into this guy and do Zig fetch the Euroside Cibor. That I did not like this output. Oh, right. There we go. I do like this output now. Okay. So the one build test. Actually, yes, fork. Okay. That works. So we succeeded. So that means this flow syntax is good. Where's my fork? Why am I logged out now? I'm logged out now, apparently. Wow. Um, huh, account compromised for getting logged out. Wait a second. Oh, I copied the wrong code. Holy shit, Neuroside. No. Did I? Oh, okay. Fair. No. Oh no, I got fucked. I'm gonna do this. Because amend, there is no way of exiting the thing without messing it up. I don't want amend. version is this one. Actually, we need to put this in the zone file as well. There's a force quit command which will abort the command. Will it? That is cool. I like conceptually, I never really even learned how you can get to that point. Because yeah, so essentially, okay, force quit basically means that it's an unsuccessful quit, which will you can delete the message and save. That will also abort the amend. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh okay. Does everything look right? Seems so. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. And with this, we did our job. So now we don't have any dependency on Zig. We don't have any like any to do related to Zig. We don't have any to do related to flow syntax. We don't have. We still have a to do related to translate C. But also it was showing me. It was showing me translate C, and then as I typed it, and I was typing it correctly. No, Zig lan good. Then it deletes it. This browser is driving me insane. And then it returns. And I guess it's trying to help me select a subpath. I just think it's not amazing at that. Okay, there's an update arrow. Uh, there's an update arrow here that does not. AI suggestions. It's even worse than that. Like it's vibe suggesting, but it's just how you think an ill-designed feature. Yeah, so the problem with updating ROCC in here is that we have a fork. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. I think Beka should manage this. If I do something and I do something in a suboptimal manner or like in a way that doesn't that messes up with their workflows, I don't want to do that. Okay, I think we're gonna need to wait for the next time that ROCC is synced with the fork. Okay. So I think at this point we're happy because we are essentially. Oh wait, Zig fetch. Oh, what was it? Take this off. We are one fork to success. I love fuzzy completion. Me too, but just not the way it's working here. Yeah. When I implemented fuzzy auto completion, well, not fuzzy auto completion, but like fuzzy matching in the old incarnation of the Zig docs, I was happy with it. I mean, Andrew did not like it much in the end. He took the thing out, but um, I was happy with it. I like fuzzy matching in general, but this is not it. Yeah. It's a different logic in my launcher, Emacs browser, and shell. Yeah, also, I totally agree on that point. It is heavily context dependent. Okay. And that's what they're trying to do here. It's just, I don't know. Okay, so I would say at this point we can chill with Zin. Zin is good. It's not ready for a new release quite yet, but it is getting tantalizingly close to that. So I'm looking forward to do that in the next few days. Maybe we can take this as an opportunity to mess around with other projects in the Zine ecosystem. Super HTML has some pending PRs, one of which I totally know I want to merge at the very least. Maybe we could even make a new release of Super HTML. Let's take a look at Super HTML. Yeah. Yeah, we're in good shape with Super HTML. So github.com Christoph Super HTML. We got 14 PRs and 36 issues. Man, I don't look at this project for like a few months and everything happens. Fix SVG categorization. This is the PR that I want to merge because this person made a delightful issue where they pointed out that I miscategorized SVGs in from the spec. And new Ziggy, are you talking about like proper like the Ziggy data language? I want to work on it too. Yeah, but I'm doing Super HTML first. Then I'm gonna switch to Ziggy. So this person made an amazing issue. Like they pointed out that if you put an SVG instead of a button, it complains because it's considered invalid nesting under button. But then they pointed out that the spec says that that SVG should be set to, it belongs to the phrasing category. Now, why did I make that mistake? Because SVG is not actually defined, it's not fully spec'd in the HTML spec because SVG has its own spec. And so there is no dedicated element page for SVG where this information is presented to you in a compact manner. You have to sniff these around in the docs, which this person did successfully, and I instead failed at. So this was a APR that. So this was a good issue that totally correctly pointed it out. So categories, flow phrasing true, categories of the thing true. Just good code. Squash and merge. Amazing. Amazing work. Okay, fixing some typos. Okay. Langauge. Language. Okay. Space. Scripty. Script. Sursipt. Script. Okay. Attribute. NP. When acutally, actually. Well, thank you. You know what? I'm tempted to misspell this on purpose to make a joke, but I think it might not be. Actually, no. You know what? I'll make the joke, but I'll make it more obvious. You know what? I'll do it like this. Okay. Input pattern regular expression implements 80. Holy shit. Currently, we don't validate the syntax of pattern attribute in input, which is expected to be a valid JavaScript regular expression. See relevant documentation, blah, blah, blah. Whoa. Yeah, but because uh, uh, like regular expressions are fucking nasty. I mean, I would need to read this code more precisely, but LM spell, I don't know. I mean, that's a tokenizer. If the spec tells you that you need to write a tokenizer of this kind, you write a tokenizer of this kind, right? What can you do? Then there's a good number of tests. Does it smell like LLM? It could be. The testing is pretty thorough. Set up test exist step. Build test executable without running it. Test exist step depend on install test step. Um, this won't work with US Zig. Nobi.args. Wait a second. Oh, because filters is like this. Yeah, but you can do this. Okay, what makes you guys think that this is LLM code 100%? Like, what makes you sure of it? His GitHub profile is all creator scams. God damn it. What? There's an XOS config here. I I think you I think you're looking at something else, or is this is the organization smart contract platform that is following? Oh, oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna merge these anyway because in any case, I would need to really look at the code. So this one stays here for a while more. Smells of e dashes. Oh man, what has happened to society, man? Just can't trust your fellow humans, huh? Role and area attributes from bitterlocks. Okay. Fix when typo in readme. Merge. Allow del and is as phrasing content with transparent content model. Fixes 127. Superation welcome complains about spandal and spawn ints. Says they can be used where phrasing content is expected. There's a long list of tags that count as phrasing content. Same goes for int. I don't think I'm misreading the spec. Let's open this. Yeah, del is definitely phrasing content. And it seems that I failed to mark that. Yeah, flow, phrasing, content transparent. Content model transparent. Yeah, I bungled this for ins and del. Wait, this fixes del. What about ints? Oh, ints inherits everything from del. Okay. That explains it. Okay, this sounds good. Merge. Okay. Holy shit. Implement HTML character reference unescaping. Okay, that one is another big one. We're not looking at that right now. Implement embedded content category per what VG spec. Add the seventh content category embedded. Why? Why? So, talking about things that you suspect being LLMs, the question is, why would you add tracking for uh, an element being embedded if this consumes memory and has absolutely no consequence when it comes to the validation? That does sound like the kind of thing that an LLM would point out, but that otherwise a human would recognize. A human that is actually doing the work would recognize as not being important. Hey, Marco Roth, thanks for the merge. Which one was yours? Oh, the typo. Okay, no problem, man. Thank you for the correction. Poker is fun. Poker is definitely fun, right? So that is kind of, I don't know, has lots of VR open in a day. They definitely do, don't they? Including this one. Holy shit. Oh, there's another typo. Well, oh, there's conflicts. Oh, Gid, you're really not helping me. Current change, incoming change. I'm assuming that I'm committing to the branch, which I did, which solves the conflict, quote unquote. So now I can merge this. Folks who use LLMs to do PRs, what do they gain? I don't know. Maybe they are. Look, it doesn't necessarily have to be adversarial, right? Maybe somebody just genuinely wants to contribute to the project, and the mean that they choose is to do it with the help of an LLM. So you have the full spectrum, right? You have people that are like adversarially trying to sneak in their LLM PR when you say that you don't want, and they're like in a sense acting against you. Then you have people who uh, want to be able to claim that they contributed to your project, so that they can put that on a CV, for example, or bragging rights of other kind. Then below that, you have people who uh, maybe just want to use your project as a testing ground to exercise their LLM or to exercise their own ability to use the LLM to do something successfully. And then below that, you have people who genuinely want to help with your project and they have gotten into the habit of using LLMs, and then that's how they do it. So, uh, I guess you have the full spectrum, but I would say it is not inherently adversarial. That is definitely part of the spectrum which is adversarial, but that is not necessarily a guaranteed thing. Somebody could genuinely be saying, "Oh, you know what? I want to use this software. I think it's cool. There's this issue open. I'll get to it, and I use and I'll use it. I get zero LLM vibes from INH. You think so? You're saying that these PRs are all non LLM? By the way, I don't know. I don't know for sure anything. I'm not really passing judgment on anybody. I do think that that one PR was a little bit suspicious because it was inconsequential. Like this one I'm referring to. Uh, this one that adds embedded. This one is suspicious because you're adding something that has no mechanical utility. It actually detracts um because I actually originally did track embedded, but then I commented it out because I realized that it's irrelevant for the purposes of what Super HTML does, and so I said, you know what, I'm taking back those 8 bytes or whatever they end up being. Okay, so what was the other stuff? According to the title element, content should be text that is not in incremental white space. Oh yeah, that is true. Okay, this also adds a bunch of code, so I'm going to not do this. Also, I'm a mess. I'm not spec compliant with the title element because of the templating, because the needs of the templating language. But that's a story for another day. Uh, correct position checking logic in details element. Let's see. The original code compared child index different than parent first child index, which didn't count for skipped text comment nodes. Oh, for example, prior to this change, the summary element of the following code was considered in the wrong position. After changing to track flow elements instead, it is valid. That seems to be something that makes sense. If it's not a bajillion lines of code, I'll merge this because that is definitely, yeah. Oh, I even have this. Huh. Map numeric code point is not LLM code. So while we iterating children, yeah, this is 100% correct. Yeah. Expect error. I'm confused about the existence of expect error. We have expect error in testing. Oh no, I get it. This is like not a Zig error. These are our errors. We're expecting the presence of one of our errors. Sure, that's fair. This is all super fair. I'm merging this. Absolutely super fair. Thank you. Add better formatting. Oof. Okay, this one is also intense. This one I'm not gonna merge now because if this is actually correct, that's a lot of work. Yeah, there's a JavaScript tokenizer involved. Although that is definitely still a simplified approach. Okay, I'm actually curious for this. Let's see. Sorry, the mention a long while ago that there is a wasm to see transpiler meant to be used against the libc. Fix CI to use OS matrix. Do we want to run these on multiple machines? I'm wondering if the correct fix would be to delete the matrix. Do we care? I think we do care because I think we do proper file IO. So yeah, I'll take this. Okay, we're down to should be 7. We should be down to 7 PRs. And yeah, they all require work. I use Cosmopolitan binaries mostly, but want to go for WASM and make the WASM work as well as Cosmo, so to say. So you were talking about taking WASM WASI blobs and use the WASM to C transpiler using Cosmopolitan libc to create a Cosmopolitan executable. Okay. I don't think in terms of like the Zig project, I think so far we haven't added support for Cosmopolitan. I don't think there's a lot of interest because I mean Cosmopolitan itself is obviously a very interesting project. Not nothing to say about that. But I think in the case of Zig, the main like the main point of running on different systems is to do so via cross compilation rather than one executable that goes everywhere. But that being said, this is just to say what the main interest is. This is our main interest. That doesn't mean that people are necessarily against Cosmopolitan just because it's a different way of achieving a similar end result. But Cosmopolitan is well, it's funky to make the Cosmopolitan thing work. It does funky stuff to the executable. So I don't know precisely what things would be necessary to make to add support for Cosmopolitan in Zig. But there might be probably some, and it's just not a super high priority. Sorry, this is not even anything that you asked. I believe I just wanted to share this information because people have pointed out in the past. Do you guys plan to add Cosmopolitan libc support in Zig? And it's like it's not like anybody is really against it, but it's not like top priority either. I use it to have the same tools on Android, Termux with X11 hardware acceleration and desktop microSNAPs for FreeBSD. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we borked CI on Windows. Why? Um, what? What is going on? Is this a Windows specific thing that is regressed? The CI version of Zig first. Wait, do I really have to do this? I don't think I should have to do this. Do I have to do this? Is this project so cringe in terms of CI? Yeah, it's not. What about our zone file? Okay, so the YAML file doesn't need updating. Uh, what about the zone file? I don't think we've updated. I don't think we've done anything to require a higher version. I think what is happening is that we might be hitting a bug in the. I think we're hitting a bug in the standard library. AMC. Hello. Glad that you like Zig. Because if you look at it, the it seems that again, unless I'm missing something, this error seems to be spawning to be from the standard library. Look, this is libstd build.zig 1842. I bet you that it's inside a Windows variant of a function that has been regressing hard, or at least that it was regressed in that commit by choice. Is the TOEFL on Windows by choice? I thought you were asking, is it regressed by choice? You know, like, and the answer is yes. Build a Zig. Yeah, we're inside a Windows code path, and this is just regressed hard. Allocator comtime type slices. Allocator comtime type slices. Wait, what the fuck is the problem then? Expected 3 arguments found 2. Oh yeah. No. Oh. Okay. So this is fixed. This is fixed in the committed IMAT, but this is missing a type in commit 702. So is there a new build? There's no new build. Um so this is a temporary failure, and they will have to stay stuck where it is right now, and that's it. Okay. So this is not bad. I just need to understand what to do with all these PRs here. But all of these require thinking, so I'm not gonna do that. Like, they require essentially me staring at the screen for like half an hour. So I am not gonna do that on stream. This is a good pass. Let's take maybe a look at issues. Thank you for running this project. We had Z ship support for the language server. However, for Linux users, okay. They God damn it. They still want the TarGZ stuff because they don't want to have support for XZ. Well, I understand. Unfortunately, Rust does not have a package manager that would allow them to trivially introduce XZ. XZ is slow. Yeah, but I don't think that is the reason why they don't support it. I think it was more complicated and annoying. So, okay. Since they made Super HTML an official extension, I think I will do that. Hi. Thank you for reaching out. I'll release soon a new version of Super HTML, and I will make sure to wow, what the fuck am I supposed to do though? To also add, should I like, am I gonna release both TarGZ and TarXZ? I don't want to do that. Am I going to walk back so I used to do TarGZ, then I moved to XZ, and so if I walk back, I'm gonna break everything again that depends on XZ. Oh my god. Oh my god, what's going on here? Oh, this is the original maintainer of either this exact package or something close to this. Hey Al, that was unprofessional. I mean, it's open source. Don't worry, man. I don't use HTML anymore, and I strongly disagree with the way Z allows extension to download and execute programs like this, which discourages me from looking into any problems with it. If at all possible, I think it would be everyone's best interest if someone were to maintain this extension, but I don't want to be the reason people are unable to use it. A little skeptical about the way extensions can download and execute programs. I do use this extension, however, but this bug fix does not change anything for users that decide to download Subscription themselves. I have Subscription installed, and this extension works fine. So I'm guessing they transferred the repo because I don't think this repo was under Z extensions originally. This is an official org, or is it not? Oh, Z extensions is not official. Okay, I see. So it's like it's a community effort, and okay. So maybe it was always originally here still. But why is there a CLA? Move to BZ to break everything. Why is there? But why is there a fucking CLA? There's a bot that tells you that you need to sign a CLA. What the fuck are they doing with the CLA? Where's the CLA? Repositories, HTML. No other stupid language has super in its name, only mine. We require contributors to sign our contributor license agreement, and we don't have Synaptic on file. You can sign our CLA at z.dev/CLA. So this is not really a community thing because they're making you sign the CLA. This is the official z.dev CLA. Maybe it's because they ship it in their extension store. No, that is definitely not it, because that is a distribution outlet. Why is a distribution outlet asking you for copyright assignment? Like, what the fuck? I think the point is that the Z extensions organization maybe is not considered official, but it is run by Z people. I don't see why otherwise it would do this. Here's a quick breakdown of what's inside. You, the contributor, are entering into an agreement with Z Industries Incorporated. You're giving Z permission to use and share your contribution, like original works or modifications. You assure us that contributions are truly your own and you have the legal rights to share them. You're not required to support your contributions, but you're welcome if you wish. If you ever notice an error or change in the details you're giving us, you agree to let us know. In short, this agreement covers the terms of your available contribution to Zed's projects. You're giving Zed permission to use and share your contributions. So this means that you're granting them something that goes past the open source license that you normally use. Contributor you and your shall mean the copyright owner or legal entity authorized by the copyright owner that is making the agreement with the company. For legal entities, blah, 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 contribution shall mean feedback as listed below and your original work, blah, 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 not the contribution feedback. There we go. Grant of copyright license. Subject to the terms and conditions of this agreement, you hereby grant to company and to recipients of software distributed by company related here to a perpetual, worldwide, non-exclusive, no charge, royalty-free, irrevocable copyright license to reproduce, prepare derivative works of, publicly display, publicly perform, sub-license, and distribute your contributions and such derivative works. Blah blah blah. Such derivative works. Further, to the extent that you participate in any live stream, what? Or other collaborative feedback generating session offered by company, you hereby consent to use of any content shared by you in connection therewith in accordance with the foregoing contributor license grant. Grant of patent license. Yes, what they are asking is something that goes past the open source license that you would otherwise be giving them essentially by default. Because if you contribute an extension that has a MIT license, for example, the MIT license will have the requirement that as long as that code is used, the license has also to be put next to it, essentially. But if they have this, they don't need to do that. As an example. Well, I have to say that I do agree with Drew DeVault on the fact that he should not sign CLAs. You know, or let me put it this way. If at some point there's something broken and you just want to fix it and go on with your life, you know, like there's an extension that you use that, and there's an Z extension that you use, and you would like to have there's a bug and you would like to have an improvement. Yep, you know, fuck it, sign the CLA, give them the code, whatever, life goes on. But unless it's like a, you know, one-off occasional thing where you really do not give a fuck about whatever agreement you enter in with the organization or with the company, otherwise you should just not sign CLAs. That is not good. And yeah, well, what can I say? And all of this because these motherfuckers do not want to put XZ in their fucking editor. Man, it's been so long. Is there no Rust rewrite of XZ? What's XZ? What the fuck is this? Why not write it in Rust? Right. No, this is a joke. Okay. Will Rust have stopped the XZ backdoor on Linux? Thoughts on the XZ backdoor and LZMA RS perspective? Oh wait, this is not LZMA, right? That's a different compression algorithm. What is it? Is it it's Z standard, right? It's ZSTD. Same thing? No, I mean, what is the implementation that you need to have in order to be able to extract an XZ archive? Oh shit. Okay, then I totally got it wrong. Thank you. I thought XZ was ZSTD. It's not. It's LZMA. Okay, so you want so we want an LZMA rewrite, which is there. What is it? Where is it? Wait, LZMA Rust 2? Oh no. Wait, which one do I want? Do I want Rust LZMA? Do I want LZMA RS? Or do I want LZMA Rust 2? The most also, why am I getting an AI preview of this link, man? This stupid browser. Which one sounds the most legitimate? I guess LZMA RS sounds the most legitimate. Which, by the way, it's a very bad way of picking a dependency. I should point this out for people in case it is not already obvious. Let's go to crates.io. LZMA. Yeah, but this is probably a wrapper. LZMA Rust 2 updated 7 days ago. 6 million recent downloads. Hey, Tanaka. So, okay, I don't understand. Okay, Tanaka, thank you for saying something. Do you or anybody who actually does Rust seriously, can any of you answer this question? I- Am I correct in saying that there is just no reason to not support LZMA in a Rust project at this point? I'm talking about Zed. Zed apparently does not support extracting tar XZ extensions. Isn't it a time? Are we not at a time where they could support this without even having to use patents? I don't think so. Because otherwise, all these implementations here wouldn't be possible. Might come soon. Currently, ZSTD is being ported. Okay, so now I'm confused because I assumed that XZ was the standard, but then people pointed out that XZ is LZMA, not Z standard. So am I getting lied to? There is only one way to know the actual truth. Ask a clanker. I'm logged out. Oh my god. Okay, so it's LZMA. Wait, then why don't they support these? Okay, let's go investigate these. Z X Z extensions. Uh okay, Z LZMA XZ, I don't know. Open since 2024. Huh. It was started because somebody tried to use one or needed it for one of my things. We've been holding off on implementing XZ support because it involves taking a dependency on liblzma, which was the library that was backdoored earlier this year. The Trifecta Tech Foundation, which is a group that started rewriting popular completion algos in Rust and then later gets swapped under the hood for the popular crates. They did that for zlib and bzip2 and currently working on ZSTD. Okay. But for example, this is a fork of the original unmaintained LZMA Rust crate to continue the development and maintenance. Well, I'm not going to make any concrete suggestion because I don't have enough context to really know if it's a good suggestion or not. But maybe I can. Hello. Any news on this? Is there still no viable all Rust alternative to LZMA? Huh. Huh. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That is a decision by Zed that I mean, I don't really understand. I get it that you don't want to do this the day after the XZ stuff is coming out, because who knows, there might be more. But I mean, I think enough time has passed, and if it's good enough for your compiler, it's probably good enough for you. Okay, so with this, by the way, that freaking disease rat plushie, that is amazing. Unfortunately, from this angle, you cannot see the chopped off leg, because the broken leg is the behind left one. uh, that is the C++ mascot, in case you didn't know. I'm just pointing this out because I mentioned it earlier, but then, in case you joined afterwards. Yeah, and I'm not joking. Like, if you search C++ mascot, that's what comes out. Yeah. Is it actually the official one? Uh, People say it is. I don't know if if you ask the C++ standards committee if they will necessarily agree, or if a majority of them will agree. But if you search official C++ mascot, that it's Keith, and you will find like Wikipedia and Wikipedia ish pages that will tell you that that is the case. So yeah. In the meantime, holy shit, we got to 150, 93 comments. Not all software is about usefulness. Boy, is that true, unfortunately. Especially in the context of hacking, where software is a way of self expression and making something fun. It's almost as if, in this context, then you are the user of your own software and the utility is for yourself. But never mind. In enterprise, usefulness is not the end goal either. Oh. That is, by the way, that is true. That is true. Not in the way that the author thinks these sentences are true, but boy, are they true. Software can be very useful, but not if no one is going to pay for it. It holds very little value for the business. Yeah. Yeah, but look, it's a joke, most probably, but it's so way spread that I think it's fair to say that it is the official mascot. Anyway, okay, what are we doing next? The next thing that we look at should be probably maybe Ziggy. Should we take a look at Ziggy at this point? Technically, we could merge Zine PRs as well at this point. Do I want to make a release that includes also changes to Zine itself? Maybe not changes, but we can definitely make a release that adds some built-ins. Are there built-ins that I want to think about that might require? You know what? Let's just take a look at what we have on the account. 18 PRs. Okay. Add contains any helper to string. Feature. Mobile optimizations for init template. Okay. Well, for example, this is a probably uncontroversial one. I quickly ran into formatting issues on mobile where overflowing code blocks cause the page layout to be janky. Horizontal scroll. Yep. This seems a pretty good thing. The Lisp mascot is a bit cursed as well. Oh yeah, you know that we have, or at least we had in the Zig community. I don't know how much active this person is anymore, but like the creator of that mascot, I forget his name, but we're talking about the alien, right, with a bunch of eyes. Okay, so this changes the CSS, adds a code blocks thing. I think I'm happy with this patch. Maybe I'll change some things in the future, but this is fine. Thank you. Okay, sure. Remove trailing white space from init template. Okay. On workflow awaiting approval. Um, this might fuck up the snapshot testing, but yeah, it's fine. I don't care at the moment. I'm gonna merge. Dev parameter to talk. Emit heading ID only if present. This seems a good patch. Uh, 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 uh. Yeah. Without this, an SMD which declares a heading without an ID will produce IB. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Taxonomies. I don't think I want to have taxonomies. Add support for audio embeds. Yep. That seems fair. Requires a super MD PR. Okay, let's temporarily switch to super MD. What do we have in here? Add rel attribute to link. This one I don't want to merge right away for sure. I mean, it's been there for a while, but I don't want to do it easily. So this adds audio asset. An embedded audio file. Loop muted autoplay hide controls. Thank you. Merge. This PR here, I think will contain maybe stuff that we don't want. Okay, let's see. There's that. And then there's this that definitely, oh, they changed it to their fork. Yeah, so we need to change this PR for sure. Okay, let's see the audio stuff. I'm not 100% sure how to express this conditional concisely in Zig. If we were more like C, I would do this. If he doesn't have hide controls. Wait, is this an optional unwrap? Oh, it's this. Okay. Something is preventing it from ever reaching the code. Let's see, I tried the most verbose version of this code I can think of, but it doesn't work right and I can't get any feedback out of the system. It only shows the controls. If you add hide control false parameter to the call side of audio asset, well, we can look into this now. So if hide controls is present and hide controls is false, then we print controls. Otherwise, you're missing a dot question mark, but I think you're missing a dot question mark and maybe a dot star or something. No, yeah, there's probably no pointer interaction, so the dot question mark would be enough. Yes. But then this person is pointing out that there's some other stuff going on, so I think we need to get into this PR and start fucking shit up. Let's go. Okay, Zine. Gate status. Lots of things. I think we want to go into the PR. I think we need to we need to do this. Zig1 build test. Oh, you know what I was about to say? We wanted to rebase the branch over this commit. The problem is that if we do that, then that branch will be based off of a commit that has a work in progress commit at the top, which we don't. It's something that we don't want to do. I could finalize this commit at this point. Like I could call this the update to 017 commit. It's only missing translate C though. God damn it. The problem is that it is missing translate C. So that means that it will fail to build on CI. Yeah, no, but I need this commit. I think that it is fine. We can push a commit that just does not work for now. Like, it doesn't matter. We can make a commit that just does not build. We say it in the comment, look, this currently does not build, but if you fork ROCC with ROCC at this commit, you will be able to make it work. But I'm pushing it so that I can merge PRs. Either that, or we don't merge this PR yet and we wait for that to be fixed. You know what? We can wait for that to be fixed at this point. We're not in a rush. I'll say I'll write this. Thank you. I plan to merge this PR. But I'm waiting for one last dependency to upgrade, to update the latest Zig before I can do that. So sit tight. Okay. Add zine, new command, fix Nick's flake. Yeah, this is gone. I'm gonna close this. This is now a complete. I think this should be like a complete merge conflict. Yeah. Sorry, I got rid of all Nick's stuff because I don't use it, which makes it a pain to maintain. And at the same time, I do not intend to support users using untagged versions of Zine. Uh, my recommendation is is to make a flake that that pulls um uh that pulls in a pre-built version of Zine and to publish that as its own uh repository. Okay. Export to single HTML file. That is left as a draft. More clean TOC rendering. Add raw markdown function to page. This is a very peculiar use case. This comment introduces a new raw markdown function allowing a page's content to be rendered back into its original markdown format. What is the use case for this? Useful for copy markdown button in static websites or rendering as plan markdown. But that's not just a snippet. This is like an entire page. Yeah, because also we don't need those. The thing builds with Zig build. You just need to have Zig. And I get that somebody would say, well, but I want to use, I want to essentially use, consider your Zine as a package that I can, configure my distro to depend on. Fair, fine. But not on tip, not on master branch, not on untagged releases. I don't want users to use those. Users should stick to tagged releases. Like commits are mine to break and mess around with if I want to, and I don't want anybody to complain about that. Yeah, and also that stuff. It was always lagging behind and like always being obsolete because I just never used it and I didn't even fucking know how to update it. So it's just extra work for nothing. Implement the markdown rendering logic in a new file. Why is it rendering markdown? The template tag is preferred for copy markdown functionality as it does not render to the DOM, is ignored by search engine CEO, is valid semantic HTML5. Render markdown. What does that mean? But why is it rendering markdown? Like this was already marked down in the first place. Wait, I feel like I'm missing something here. This was already marked down. Well, actually, that is kind of precise. Content is super markdown. It's not just markdown. Um, you could just take the original text and copy paste it. Well, I guess what this would give you technically you could argue that this would be able to give you some resolved things, but that's eh. Copy as markdown. Why would you need to copy markdown for the entire page? Why? What is the context in which you have an entire markdown page and you want to copy it? Again, I totally understand saying I have a code snippet with markdown in it. They wanted to avoid some bugs. Such as? I don't know. This PR confuses me. More clean TOC rendering. Um, okay, this changes. There are good chances that this PR is good because I remember making a complete mess of the table of content rendering. So I'm not going to merge this now because I have to look at the code, but that seems reasonable. Okay, we don't really have essentially anything else to merge at this point in Zine. So what do we want to do? I think that with these, I'm done with Zine, and I'm done. Okay, Ziggy. I think you might be right. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go into Super HTML. I'm gonna git pull, and I'm gonna run tests. Okay, we're good. So Ziggy. Oh man, Ziggy. Oh, you know what we need to do? Okay, so here's the situation with Ziggy. As you might have noticed, I'm in the old branch. Why am I in a branch called old? Because because I was doing some changes, I was making some changes to Ziggy syntax and features. And I wonder why the OpenPR icons are red instead of being green. Because I have colorblind mode on, and that changes colors. I think it's like I think it depends on the context, but maybe not in this context, but in other contexts, uh, green becomes purple, and actually, I don't remember what red becomes. But or like, I think that was something like this. Yeah, so merged is purple, not merged is red, apparently. In any case, it's colorblind mode. So what's happening here is that I'm making some changes to Ziggy, but Zine uh, has not updated yet to latest Ziggy. So that means that we now get to do the upgrade. We switch now to main branch. We now get to do the Zig update all over again, which is the live pool. And the reason why I have to do this is because these two code bases have diverged. Like these two branches have diverged enough where even cherry picking that commit is enough annoying stuff that might as well just do the work again from scratch. This is annoying. Actually, the handle might not be necessary. Or never mind. We got past that. Watch. Watch and error style minimal. Okay. AC.zig. Accepted U32 found optional U32. Current scope 1952. Oh, great year. I'm in the wrong AST. Schema AST. Okay. Oh. So this used to be an asserting at last. Deprecator in favor of last. Oh, I didn't even notice this. This gives us a this changes the type though. And this happened a few other times, I guess. Okay. No fill-in fields in serializer. Type info is uppercase T. That is absolutely uh, misleading. Absolutely misleading. Okay. Okay. Field name type. Where's this stuff? Oh, hello, what are we building? I am building I'm working on a data serialization language, which is part of my static site generator. And I updated the compiler version, and I'm using a language that is still work in progress. So things change. And so I need to update my code every time I update the compiler. You implemented this, there, Teufel? Oh my god. Yeah, there we go. We need F type. I've been interested in learning Zig, but I've been a bit trepidatious because of that. Understandable. It's not the end of the world. You start feeling it a little bit if you have a big project. In my case, I have a pretty big project. Like the static site generator depends on um, my scripting language, my data serialization language, my HTML templating language, my Markdown um, extension language, and then the thing itself, and then I have a three-seater dependency. So you feel it a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. It is feasible. It's just that every 6 months or so, when a new version of Zig comes out, if you want the latest and greatest of Zig, which normally you do want because you know good stuff does come out as it's being developed, then yeah, you have to put in the work. But as I said, it tends to be mostly mechanical changes like I'm doing here. Just a bit tedious, but you do it. Actually, this is the kind of stuff that you could probably have a clanker do for you, and it wouldn't be the end of the world if you're into that stuff. Um, but yeah. Oh, the default pointer stuff. So this is info dot field utters, I think. F utters. I should say this is plural. I think this is it. I found Zig just to be very verbose. Uh, uh what are you comparing it against? Rust? I would say that the majority of the verboseness nature of Zig comes from just writing s- straight code that doesn't like have a ton of abstractions behind it. So that adds to the verbosity because you could okay, I'm gonna pick Rust as the example, of which I have limited knowledge, so I might not be even picking the best examples possible. But like in Rust, you can do, what is it, like you can do .into for the auto. Maybe that one is not particularly interesting, but in any case, between macros and a few other things, then you don't have to be as verbose. Like iterators, for example, the fact that the language, I believe, has language level knowledge of iterators, while in Zig, an iterator is just a normal struct that has a next method, usually, or you don't even have to call it next. Okay, watch me do magic. Rename, ask, move. Oh, that did not work as I thought. Place rename. Okay, so append underscore exit delete. There we go. Okay. Okay, we should be good. Decals? No decals. What do we have here now? Serializer seems to have some more fields. Okay. Fields names. Oh no. Deserializer. Switch must handle all possibilities. Oh, there's a new typing info, Spurvy. Okay. Static bit set integer 2 has no member name in it empty. I bet you that that has become dot empty. Oh, that was it. So with this, we pass the build test. We also build the language server. We don't. There's no dupe Z. And the map stuff. I'm okay with the verbosity, but when I'm learning a language, I usually go for big projects. That's fair. Okay. We have succeeded. We have built everything, and it seems to work. So, does it work also with Zig build? Can I also Zig build, or do I need that specific commit? I'm using a slightly different version of the compiler to decide which version to put in the project manifest file. Okay, this seems good. This is not good. Okay, so this is our version. Okay, so Ziggy has been updated, and I wish I remembered exactly where I was at with my features, but I think this is gonna be this will have to be a story for another day. Is there any? Is there any GitHub stuff? Ziggy, any open PR or something? 7 PRs, 15 issues. Jesus. Oh shit, Matt did this already. God damn it, I forgot. Fix memory leak error on deserialize. Add support for inf and non-special float values. Well, that is definitely something that we do want. Do I have any Nix shit going on in here? Oh shit, I do. No. Okay, we're getting rid of the stuff. What about bench? What was I using bench for? I'm gonna leave bench there, I guess. What's the problem with this? No matches for wildcard depths.star. Oh, because it's missing. I'm already error in this serialize. We were not resetting the arena on error. Okay. Hey Matt, I'm sorry. I think I completely forgot that you already updated Ziggy to 017. Did it myself again. I always do this. I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, but in my defense, you left it as a draft. So, god damn it. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm gonna close the PR. But I saw that you updated the YAML file, so I still have a very old CI thing. Let me update the CI thing. Wait. Oh, it's because I see you wanted to track that more deliberately, more explicitly. I think as it is fine. Yeah, this fails um because setup Zig can't find that version. Oh, oh shit! So every time we do something like this, we do a delightful round trip through all the mirrors. uh, well, could be worse. Could be worse. Okay, so we're down to 4 pull requests. Oh, this one is work in progress. So never mind. This one is work in progress. This one, no, we should take a look at. Add release packages and automated GitHub releases. I don't think I want to do this. I think I'm fine with the manual workflow for this. And oh man, okay, so we should be good. Okay, this was good. I mean, it's boring open source software maintenance that I'm doing, but it was rough because the depths need updating. Okay, I needed updating. That makes sense. Yeah, I got there now, and they all are fine at this point. So yeah, apologies. I definitely should have checked first and make good use of your work. Uh, I keep forgetting though. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it a day at this point. It's not being a super long stream, but I mean it's a Sunday, so it's fine. And we're making a zine release soon. We just have one dependency that remains. That's translate C. When that is fixed, we are pushing a zine release in the. And maybe I should get Ziggy to a satisfactory point because I left it in media res and like in the middle of things. And yeah, that is disappointing. I think we should push Ziggy to a new satisfactory point and a new checkpoint. And I think at that point we should upstream those changes into Zine so that Zine can stop using a obsolete branch. You have an Italian priest to confess to? Oh yeah, every day. I do that every day. Guarantees my spot in heaven, of course. Nah, the truth is that I stopped doing this shit when I was a kid. The moment that nobody could coerce me into doing this stupid fucking stuff, that's the day I stopped doing it. Okay, everybody, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for keeping me company while I do this mostly boring stuff. I mean, merging PRs is not necessarily boring. It is at the end of the day cool to see that people, you know, they bring you stuff for free essentially. You know, they bring you gifts. But the rest of the work around it was mostly boring. But such is life.